Okay, today we are going to start with ratio tables, and ratio tables is just another way of a format to writing proportions. Remember, a proportion is two equal ratios, and we've already seen that I can write like 2 to 4 equals x over 8, which that's the way we like to see a proportion written. It's easy for us to handle. Also, it can be written like this. And we've worked with those, and we've said when it's written like this, what we do is just rewrite it like that to solve it. And so a ratio table is just another format of writing a proportion, and it could look something like this. Whoops. Let's say if I said the ratio of cats to dogs at Brava was 2 to 4, and if there were 8 dogs, how many cats would there be? Again, this is the same proportion that I have here, here, and here. It's just 3 ways of writing it. Okay, so let's look here. A ratio table. It's a proportion in a box. You treat the numbers in a ratio table just like you would a proportion. So here we got a scenario that the bakery can make 60 donuts every 15 minutes. Does that make you hungry? How many donuts could it make in 45 minutes? So here we're comparing donuts to minutes. So that's where we get donuts to minutes. And the ratio was 60 donuts, 15 minutes. So that's where this 60 and 15 come from. How many donuts would it take? How many donuts could it make in 45 minutes? So that's why the 45 went down here with minutes. And later this week, I'm going to give you empty ratio tables, and you're going to have to set them up and put the numbers in the right places. But today, we're just looking at me already giving you all the information and you solving. So if a ratio table is just a proportion in a box and I treat it just like a proportion, then I'm going to say, okay, I know this times this has to equal this times this. So 45 times 60 is 2,700. So 15 times x has to equal 2,700. So 15 times x has to equal 2,700. And yes, that says 15 times x because side by side means to multiply. So I want to get that x by itself. So I'm going to, instead of multiply by 15, I'm going to divide by 15. Those cancel out, and there's the x by itself, which is what I wanted. If I divide the left side of the equal sign by 15, then I have to divide the right side by 15 to keep that balance scale balanced. And so that would be 180. But now it's not just 180. You know, that number means something. It's not just a meaningless number. It's 180 donuts in 45 minutes. Then sometimes you're going to have some that look like this. A lot of empty boxes, but still you want to know what x is. So a ratio is made up of two equal ratio, a proportion, is made up of two equal ratios. So there's a ratio, and here's a ratio. So what I tell students to do is just act like these numbers aren't there. So I know that 5 times 16, which is 80. So 1 times x has to equal 80. So 1 times x has to equal 80. Well, guys, I can do this in my head. What times 1 equals 80? Well, yeah, that's 80. But I did this example to show you, just act like these numbers aren't there. From one extreme, I know 5 times 16 and 1 times x have to have the same value.